everyone, thank you for joining me today. Today I'll be setting up my June setup in my bullet journal. For this month I decided to use the theme of hydrangeas and blue and purple flowers. So I have these two washi tapes and pet tapes that I want to use. The first is from, I think it was from Journal Say, and it's this really pretty tape. I think it had sunflowers on it as well, and I used those for my sunflower theme last year. So I'm starting off with my calendar spread, and I'm using this pale blue fine liner from Crayola. It's from the Colours of Kindness collection, and I think it's called Sky's the Limit or something like that. So I'm drawing my calendar grid out with this fine liner. And I end up making a little bit of a mistake on the grid, but I correct that. I put the last day in the wrong place. Easily done if you have brain fog. So most of the shades and pens I've used in this setup are quite they're quite like mild and relaxing shades and colours. I only use black to go back in and do the numbers for the months. So I'm using this pen set, and it was from Stationery Pal, I think, and it's a set of 3 shades, and they're really good value on the website. Can't remember, I think there was something like $3.99 for a set of 3 or something like that, maybe even cheaper. And I have them in all sorts of shades. So I'm using this medium blue to do my June title, and this is in real time, so you can see how long it takes me. And the pens, the nibs on these pens, they're brush pens, and they're a little bit softer than what I'm used to, so I'm having to be quite careful with my certainly with my upstrokes as well as my downs for the hand lettering. I'm still working on my calligraphy. It's not amazing, but it has improved, so it just goes to show that if you practice, things will get better. So I'd been wanting to do a hydrangea setup for a few years now, each summer, and I kind of get to like the start of the month and get inspired with something new, or get distracted or forget. So this month I was determined to use my existing tapes that fit in with the theme to actually do a whole month theme with the blue and purple flowers and hydrangeas. I would have preferred to have more hydrangea stickers and tapes, but I also wanted to use what I had, so it's better not to just buy new stuff all the time, you know, like use what you have. So next up I'm going in with another Crayola. This is a super tip in it's like a very pale smoky blue colour, and I'm using this to highlight the top line of each square of the month, and I'll put the date of each month in that space. If you see me tapping the page, this is me blending. So if you get like those overlined lines that happen when you go over the same area twice with a water-based marker, certainly with these Crayolas, because they're quite juicy, they're quite wet, you can blend it in so it's not as noticeable. So that's why I'm tapping the page. And then here's me highlighting the wrong box. And then I do realise eventually that that's not where the 30th of June goes. And I'm doing a second line highlight on this to-do list that I've put on the side of the calendar. Here we go, I've noticed. So that's the end of the month in the proper place. And then we're going to correct this random abstract month day just with a Tipex correction pen, which works really well. We're going to end up putting stickers over the top of it anyway, so it's not that noticeable. These work really well unless you want to like colour over the top of the dried correction fluid, and then it doesn't look the same as the rest of the page. But for this, it works. So I'm just using a Pigma fine liner in 03 just to go in and do the dates for each day of the month here. And then it's time to outline the title. So I decided to go in with a darker shade in this set of 3 brush pens from Stationery Pal. And I'm just going around the outside of my lettering just to kind of, it helps neaten it up, and it kind of defines the edges a little bit more. Gives you a nicer outline. Again, going quite slowly. I think I had particularly shaky hands today when I was doing this setup, so I'm being quite careful. But ultimately, you know, your bullet journal is for you, so, you know, you can make it as nice and as pretty or as, you know, basic and utilitarian as you want, really, as long as you're going to use it. That's the main thing. So I wanted to use my weekday stamps just to stamp the days at the top of each column on the calendar. And these stamps, they were from, where were they from? I think they were from Stationery Pal as well. And because they've got the full weekday on the stamp, I didn't have enough space. So I'm using a piece of tape just to block out the word day or half of each of the words to make it much smaller. So you've got the smaller version of the weekday. So like Mon instead of Monday, MON, and things like that. So I'm just covering up the end of the word, and then I realised I hadn't marked these, so I'm going in with my micron, and I'm just marking on the side and the bottom edge of the stamp where the word starts and finishes. So this is a good idea to do with your letter and word stamps if they're not exactly centered, or if you want to be able to line them up accurately, because obviously if you're using a wooden based stamp, then you can't see where the word is, like it's under the wood as you're stamping it down. So it's a good idea to mark it, and then you can line up the registration marks with the lines on your journal. And I've just realised that I marked the top instead of the bottom, so I couldn't see it from the angle that I was at. So the ink pad I'm using is from a multiple set that was from, I think it was from Temu, actually. Don't judge me. And it came out a little bit lighter than I was hoping, so I think I do go back in with a darker shade. So yeah, I've just masked off the second part of each word so that you get those abbreviations that fit above the boxes. We'll put those back. And now it's time to decorate. So we get our, just going to get my tapes out and show you that this is the pet tape from Journal Say, and I've only got a little bit of it left. And this is a blue floral wide washi tape, also from Journal Say, I believe. So these aren't kiss cut, so I'm going to have to go around and cut around all the shapes and figures that I want to use. So a lot of this setup was me cutting out flowers and figures, but I'll spare you from seeing all the monotonous cutting that I had to do. They call it fussy cutting. So we're going to speed through just for this one flower. So hydrangeas are my favourite flowers. My garden isn't very big. You may have seen at the start of the video there's a little clip of me planting seeds in my garden. And although I do have some hydrangeas, they can grow to be quite large shrubs and bushes, so I can't have as many as I'd like. I would love to fill the garden, but my garden isn't big enough. So here we are, we're just cutting out some more of these flowers and hydrangeas from this washi tape. And I'm going to just cut out a bunch because I want to pretty much completely fill the page. Ta-da! There we go. So now I'm just going to be laying each sticker down. I've kind of had to play around with where I want them to sit. And I'll just leave you with some relaxing music to enjoy these stickers going down. So all that's left to do now is just to go around, trim off all the edges, try and make sure that they're not interfering with those lovely the holographic page edges. And then that's the end of the calendar setup, and we go on to the next spread, which is my trackers spread. So I'm going to be drawing two tables with my that light blue Colours of Kindness fine liner. It's quite a chunky fine liner, so it works quite well as you know, a pen for your tables and boxes. So this top box is going to be my pain and fatigue and sleep tracker. So I use a grid to record my pain and fatigue levels. I have a chronic illness, so it's helpful for me to record how I'm doing each day. Helps me manage the illness. And recording sleep is always useful for all of us. So going on doing our trackers header, again using that same set of 3 pens from Stationery Pal. And these pen sets are excellent. They do quite a range of colours, so you can get like a set of 3 in different shades of green, yellow, purples, pinks, blues. They're really, really nice and really good value, like I said before. So here I am, being careful, getting a little bit more tired, so a little bit more shaky now, but just trying to do it as neatly as I can. And I go in and do the same outline as I did on the June header with this. And then I use the same pen on the opposite side. They're dual nib pens. So one side's a brush nib, and the other side is a fibre tip liner. So I go through and mark the days of the month across the top. And I realise I've made the box a little bit too long, but that's okay, I'll use the space. I think I did the same last month. And then I'm doing the just initial of each day of the weeks along the bottom. And this kind of helps me keep track of where I'm marking each day. And I'm just checking my previous month's tracker. And I'm doing my side scale, which is 0 through to 5. And then just draw a line to separate the sleep section from the pain and fatigue. So how I use this is I use a red pen to mark a graph for the pain and a black or a blue pen, I think I'm using purple this month, to mark my fatigue. And then this bottom box is going to be my habit tracker. I actually feel like I have the energy to try and track a few habits this month. So I'm doing the dates along the top. I started from the 30th and worked backwards so that I knew how much of a gap I'd have at the end or the beginning to write which habits are which. And then I'm just drawing a line every 2 dot spaces, and this is going to give me space to track up to 6 habits, which I'll mark in that left hand column. And then I can either tick them off or do an initial of what I've done under each day. And at the time that I was making this, I hadn't decided what habits I wanted to track, so I hadn't filled them in. And I just finish off with that kind of second row highlight with that smoky blue Crayola Super tip. And just using my finger just to blend any overlapped areas out a little bit. So again, once we've got these tables complete, it's time to decorate. So there was more cutting out of flowers from those tapes. But we'll do that outline first. So okay, it's sticker time. So I'm just laying everything out, trying to get an idea of where I want these stickers to be in their final positions. And then I'm going to start laying them down. Using tweezers is really useful for this kind of projects because you can be a little bit more precise. And I was finding with the pet tape that it would sometimes kind of like curl towards the page as you're trying to lay it down, so it could be a bit difficult to lay it down flat. So the tweezers were really useful, just to kind of give you a different, like more precise anchor point. I'm just using some glue tape on this lavender washi scrapbooking paper, not washi paper, sorry, that I've cut out, and then I'll layer over the top of that with the pet stickers. So same as before, we just go a little bit ham with these blue, lovely blue and purple florals. Occasionally I'll cut one in half and use it to give the illusion that the boxes are actually in front of the flowers. And you can create quite a nice multi-dimensional effect by having some of your stickers overlaying the boxes and some of them appearing like they're going behind the boxes. So that was our tracker page. We're now going on to weeklies, and this month, to make things a little bit easier for myself, I decided to do Dutch door weeklies for the month, and I'm just using that wide floral washi tape to decorate the start and the end of my weeklies. And I realise I cut it a little bit too short here, so I'm peeling up. This is a demonstration of how if you mess up you can just correct it quite easily. So I'm just going to put that tape back down a little bit higher, and then I'll cut an extra section that lines up with the design and just stick it on at the bottom. And you can make it look pretty seamless, so it's no big drama. You don't have to throw your book against the wall because you've messed up. It's okay. There we go, and we'll just trim off the excess. And whenever I'm using stickers and tape in this particular journal this year, I'm trying to trim. If I have any stickers or tape that goes towards the edges of the pages, I'm trying to make sure that I trim inside the edges of the pages, if that makes sense, because I don't want to interrupt the lovely gold foiled edges that are on the edges of this Archer and Olive bullet journal. So I'm trying to keep that foil keep the integrity of the foil. I don't know if it will work because it's the first time I'm trying this. But I think I saw a video with Erin Smith, and she was saying, this is going back a while now, she was saying that as you use a journal that has foil edges, the more you use it, the less you'll be able to see the foiling effect. So I wondered if that was because of the tape and the stickers overlapping on the edges. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm keeping them well in. Anyway, waffling aside, we've got that tape down. We've turned the journal the right way around, which I did have a mild panic when I realised I'd put everything upside down, but that's okay. And I'm just highlighting a little bar in the pink and purple set of those jewel tip markers from Stationery Pal. And I wanted to just give myself plenty of space here just to log my dailies. So it's a kind of it's quite an open layout. But we haven't got a huge amount of space because of cutting away those Dutch doors. And once we've got these neatened up, I'm going to just go in with that stamp in a darker blue this time, and I've taken off the tape, so now we've got the full length versions of each word of each day. So we'll stamp that down. It looks like I'm pressing really hard on these stamps, but I'm not. I'm just making sure that all the stamp is making contact. And I wasn't paying attention there, so I stamped a little bit high, but again, we're going to be able to correct that with our correction fluid. Here we go, trusty Tipp-Ex. Just a little tip, if you are using liquid, whether it's liquid white correction fluid or if you're using like a white gel pen or acrylic marker, it's better to wait until what you're trying to correct is dry before you put anything over the top of it. So once we've got these neatened up, I'm just going to line the edge of this page with a narrow washi tape, and it just has kind of very abstract cloud-like patterns in blue and purple. And this was a set which I think it was from Stationery Pal. This video is not sponsored by Stationery Pal Journal, so it just happens to be where I've got the majority of the items from in the video. We'll just neaten up that little bit of correction fluid with the pink Crayola. No, they're not Crayolas, are they? These brushed pens. And that's it. I will add the rest of my weeklies as I go along and post shorts over here and on my Instagram, which is also Bujos at Dawn. All we've got left to do is to put my little tab on, which these are from Under the Rowan Trees. I'll just line that up with the previous month's tab. There we go. And that's my monthly setup done. So we'll just do a very quick flip through, just so you can see how it all looks together. So I really enjoyed making this setup and spending this time with you. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. If you watch to the end of the video and you too like blue flowers, then leave a blue flower emoji in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you're all having a lovely day. I'll see you next time. Bye.